Hello, how do I fill out Form 941 for 2023 quarter 3? And Form 941 is employer quarterly federal tax return. It is a quarterly federal tax return. So so that means you are going to complete it every quarter. So where are you going to find that Form 941? If that's your first time, if your business is new and that's the first time you are going to complete it, or if you already completed for quarter 2, you can just pull your quarter 2, make a copy, and make the change to it. That way you won't have to retype your business name on it. So you will find the form on irs.gov, and under the search bar you can just tap Form 941 and press search. And it will take you to the page. You can download the instructions that you can read, and you can download the form. And depending on your business type, you might need Schedule B as well. Schedule B, Form 941. Or not. We will we can click on about Form 941 to see the different form that will be. But for sure, yeah, Schedule B, Form 941, if you are a semi-scheduled depositor, you might need it. But if you are having issue finding some form on their websites, you could go to our website, ninasop.com, and in the sidebar you should be able to find a federal link to federal tax forms. Federal tax form and instruction. So you can click on federal tax form and instructions links, and you will scroll it down to pretty much search the form you are looking for here. We do save links to some form, and you should be able to find them. You might find the link to the form you are looking for as well. So when you find the form, whether on IRS website or through our website, you just click on it and you download a copy. We already have our copy to work with, so let's get started. So how do you fill out Form 941 for 2023 quarter 3 employer quarterly federal tax return? Because it's for quarter 3, July, August, September, which is due by the end of October, you will click on the box 3. But before we get to that, first enter your EIN, your business EIN number on the employer identification number section. So we are just going to put some X. And what I like to do as well is just put the cap on your computer so that every things you'll type letter wise will be in capital letter if you want. So name, not your trade name, but your business name. And your business name could be the name. If you open your SS4 or your EIN application letter, if you have a copy of that, or the letter you got from IRS, which is SS4, I believe, to approve your EIN number and the type of tax returns that you should file for your business, that will have your legal business name as well. Otherwise, the EIN application form will have your legal business name if you do not remember. So you want to tap that legal business name. And here we are just going to put, for this example, we are going to put this Liberman Consulting L.L.C. The trade name, if you have one, you'll enter. If you don't, you don't. And again, for sole proprietor that are required to file Form 941 because they have employees. If you check your EIN letter as a sole proprietor, it might be your own name. So you might put it there. But again, it is what you put on your EIN application letter as the legal name is what you'll put on. And it could be your own name for your sole proprietor business. But for an LLC, that's as an S Corp or an S Corp or an LLC, chances are when you apply for EIN number, you use your business entity name. So for the trade name, if you have one, you'll put it down. So as a sole proprietor, if you have a trade name that you file with your state, you'll write it down on this line. Otherwise, just leave it blank. The same thing goes for S Corp and LLC. If you have a trade name for your business, you'll write it down. Here we will just put Nina Soap, and then you'll put the address. And here we can just put street number, let's just put name, street number and name, the city, the state, and then the zip code. You'll enter information regarding your business name, your business identification number, and your business address. And the boss for this quarter of 2023 reporting, you will check quarter 3, which include the month of July, August, and September. And now we will scroll down to part 1. Number 1, a number of employees who receive wages, tips, and other compensation for the pay period, including, quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, or quarter 4. It's now an accumulation of those quarters. It's per quarter based on the quarter you select it up. So since we are working on quarter 3, that is, quarter 3. So how many employees? In this example, we are going to use two employees or 2 officers that receive wages in quarter 3. So that means you need to have your payroll spreadsheet. If you do not have payroll software to track your payroll, you can use a payroll spreadsheet, and we are going to pull one out to start using. So and we have it on ninasoap.com. And if that's the first time using it, we have a link. We have a YouTube on how to use it. I might put in the description, but the list tab, the staff tab, you'll complete those. And then for every pay period, if you are using your own spreadsheet, just make sure you are recording. Your payrolls. So I just put some date here so that it's kind of easy for me to see what months I'm working on. And in this example, we have for June, so you will enter the name of the person, and you have to have it on the staff to select it from the down drop menu, and then you enter the dollar amount. So let me just take the last 2 months off, and because we are using the same information, the same dollar amount for all of that, I'm just going to use the last month as an example and complete it to show how it is done here. Okay. Okay, so it's June, July, August, September. So for September, and I'm just going to work on both together. So you select the person's name, and it's coming from the staff section. So as you pay your staff members, you might want to keep a record, whatever works for you, of how much you are paying. And this spreadsheet just helps you track the dollar amount and do some calculations for you. But if you are using a spreadsheet, please just make sure no formula is broken and there is no overhead, there is no overtime. So for the pay period pay, because they are salaried, and depending on how you complete the staff, those information are just keep getting reduplicated here on the federal income tax form. So for the pay period, that will be September, and number of pay period based on how much the frequency that you are paying your employee or that particular employee, how many times are you going to pay in a year? And that's 12, because their salary, they are getting paid every month. In this example, that will be 12 months of the year, and that's what that column is for. And for the W for step 1C, in this example, we select single or male refinery separately, so that tax is withheld at the highest bracket. And in this example, 1 is W for step 2 box is checked to withhold, but to check, and the other one is standard withholding. So if the employee check that box, that means you'll withhold more. So now that we have that information in the spreadsheet, it will allow us to use publication 15T to find the federal income tax return, federal income tax to withhold. So federal income tax tab just allow you to estimate the right federal income tax to withhold. And we do have a video on that, but you'll pull IRS publication 15T, federal income tax withholding method. And in this example, we are using the wage bracket method table for manual payroll system for form W4 from 2020 and later. That will be session 12. And again, the payroll spreadsheet is built with this in mind. So we pretty much transfer those steps to the spreadsheet for the federal income tab. So if you are designing your own, that's, you can do it instead of coming here for every single pay period and trying to figure out based on how much you pay the person, how you will estimate how much to withhold. You can design a spreadsheet to have those steps transferred to the spreadsheet and have formula in it, so that once you have all the information in it, you'll just use the payroll, the federal income tax tab, to do the calculation. So what we are going to do now that we know that they earn 2,000, they both want to be taxed as a single or married filing separately, and one select on their W2, no, on their W4, one selected standard withholding and the other selected from form W4 step 2 box is checked. You want to stay in that category in this example, and now look for the amount you pay for that pay period. In the dollar amount section, you want the dollar amount to be the bracket, the dollar amount to be between or start with that amount but not ending with it. In this example is 2,000, so at least 2,000 but less than the end bracket dollar amount. So we are looking for 2,000, and we will just scroll down and in fact there is something you need to look at as well. Is, do you see they have it for different type of pay period, and right now we are in bi-weekly, so we need to find monthly before we start looking for the pay, the brackets. So they have bi-weekly and semi-monthly, and I don't know which one we passed earlier, but we are looking for monthly. And we are looking for monthly, and that's why we have monthly pay period instead of semi and bi-weekly and all that. We complete a monthly pay period for this one. So monthly pay period, we are looking for 2,000, and we want to stay within single column, and we will need both from both column standard and check box 2 of W4, and at least 2,000 but less than 2,030, and they collected the salary was 2,000 for each one of them. So we will go to the last two column, and the one that says standard withholding will withhold $86. So we'll go back to the spreadsheet. Yeah, the standard withholding will be $86, and the check 2 box, the form W4 step 2 box checks 163 needs to be withheld for the salary of 2,000. So that will be 163. In this example, for simplicity purposes, we are using the same monthly because it's monthly salary. Usually monthly salary doesn't change. So we have 2,000, and once we locate it once, we'll just keep doing that throughout the year. So now that we are done with that, we will move to, it will do the calculation for us, but we need to prove the month that the pay was for, and we have who is earning it, and they are officers, and which quarter the salary paid is for is quarter 3. And I think we are pretty much done. Since they didn't select, there is no other benefit to take out of it or to add it to it. So once you completed federal income tax with during the month, the quarter, when as you pay your staff members, everything should, the other tab should be able to pull data from there. But right now we will need to go to the summary tab that will summarize everything for us. And we must first use the quarter one. So the summary by quarter, we are looking for the total wages paid during quarter 3. And we have, okay, employee. So there is no, and we have officer here. That's why we have that column on the federal income tax, so that it can pull the salary for officers and for employees. So $12,000 for quarter 3 is what we will put on our form. I think the one we are working on is this one. And you'll enter 12,000. And if you have decimal point, you'll put in the decimal section. Otherwise, we'll just put 00. 12,000 even is our number. So line 3, federal income tax withheld from wages, tips, and other compensations. So if you have your payroll spreadsheet, and your payroll spreadsheet is, you are using it to record those, and the amount you withheld from their income for federal income tax, you will total that and add it as well. And here, total federal income tax withheld is $747. So we will put it as 747, and the decimal will be 00. If no wages, tips, or other compensation are subject to Social Security or Medicaid, check that box. We are not going to check that box. In this example, we will go to line 5A. So taxable Social Security wages. And in this instance, the total wages, tips, and compensation, and since we do not have tips or other compensation involved, total wages will be the taxable social wages. But if your business, you have tips, the tips will have their own section as well. So in this, for column 1, you'll enter total wages subject to Social Security tax, and no qualified sick leave, no family leave, no Social Security tips. So you will time that number on 5 line A column 1 by 0.124, and that's both employee and employer share of Social Security tax. Your spreadsheet, well designed, should be able to calculate it for you as well by employee and by employer. It's good to separate both, because when you are filing the W-2 with Social Security, you will only put the Social Security withheld from the employee's salary, wages for the year. The employer one will not go on the employee W-2. But on Form 941, you will put both employee and employer portion. So in here, we have Social Security employee and Social Security tax employer, and it is $1,488, And we still have it here as total Social Security employee and employer 1488. So you'll put 1,488, but you can just do the multiplication here as well and use your spreadsheet to double check the accuracy of your number. So 12,000 times 0.124, and that's 1,488. So that means the employee Social Security tax rate is 6.2%, and the employer Social Security tax rate is 6.2%, a total of 12.4%. 12.4%, and they just put it there for you and guiding you to do the multiplication and put the result in column 2 for 5A line. So we'll go to 5C. And 5C, taxable Medicare wages and tips. So the wages here will be 12,000 as well, and you will tell me by 0.029. $12,000 times 0.029, and that will be 348. 348, and we are going to remember to make sure we complete the decimal section. And we can check it in case you are wondering what is the half you will withhold from the employee salary. It is 1.45 from the employee salary and 1.45 from the employer salary for a total of 0.029 or 2.9%. And 348, we can double check it to see if we have a employee and employer 348. And the good news with this is it should be able to help you track it by employee as well, so that you'll be able to file their W-2 properly. 348. Okay. So now we have both together. We are going to scroll to 5D, and there is no additional Medicaid to withhold. But if the person passed that threshold, you'll and you can read the instruction, but you'll apply the 0.009 on the employee portion. The employer won't withhold additional Medicaid tax on the salary, but just you'll withhold it from the employee salary. The employer won't pay a portion of it, just the employee will pay that. Here we leave a blank. And again, line 5E, total Social Security and Medicaid tax, you total column 2 of line 5A all the way to 5D. So the total of both total Social Security and Medicaid is 1836 for quarter 3. 1836. and we'll move to the decimal side and put 0 there, and we can double check it as well, and that will be 1488 plus 348, 1836. F, we will leave a blank, tax due on unreported. So if it's related to your business, you may want to read instructions for Form 941. And line 6, total tax before adjustment. Total tax before adjustment will total line 3, which is federal income tax withheld, 747, line 5E, and line 5F. So let's go to the spreadsheet again. Total tax before adjustment is 2583. 2583, and calculation of that to 5E, we can just add 747, and that's 2583, and 747 is line 3, federal income tax withheld. So line 7, current quarter adjustment for fraction, we leave a blank. But if you have rounding issue, you shouldn't have that at this point. Current, but again, pretty much what it's doing is saying that here they are telling you how much you should withhold. So if based on what you actually withheld and what they are saying you should have withheld, if there is a discrepancy due to rounding, it will go on line 7. Line 8, current quarter adjustment for CPay, will leave a blank. Something does not pertain to your business, just leave a blank. But line, let me see if I'll be able to find it quickly here. Instructions, we will come back to it for you to see the line that you should not leave blank. But let's continue here. Line 10, total tax after adjustment, is line 6 all the way to line 9. So it is 2583. Line 11 will leave a blank. Line 11B will leave a blank. Those are non-refundable credit and research credits. On line 11, those are credits. And we will go to the page 2. And the page 2, you have to make sure you put your business legal name as well. That's why if you already file quarter 1 and quarter 2, a copy of that quarter, of the last quarter that you file, you can remove the dollar amount and then make a copy of the form, remove the dollar amount. That way you already have your business name down already. That's one way to save time. And you'll make sure you put your business identification number down. Your business name and your business identification should go at the top of page 2 as well. So line 11D will leave a blank. All the 11 we will leave them blank. Total non-refundable credits we will leave a blank as well, because we do not have a non-refundable credit. But if you have credits you want to claim, you will read the instructions to locate it. But what I'm looking for here though is and when you are doing something, you are completing the form and you want information related to a line, it's good to just locate that line on the form and read more about it. And what are we looking for? It should be at the beginning for where area you should leave blank. And if you have employees, the area you should not leave blank will not be blank anyway. I'm looking for, okay. So you leave blank any data field except line 1, 2, and 12. You enter 0 on those lines. So line 1, and 2, you'll put 0, 0 there if in your case they are blank. And then line 12, which we are about to get to, you'll put 0 there as well. Is the total tax after adjustment and non-refundable credit. If you do not have anything, you'll put 0 there. You won't leave a blank. Anything else that is 0 for you, you will leave a blank. But for line 1, 2, and 12, you actually put 0 on those lines. So line 11G will remain blank for us. Total tax after adjustment and non-refundable credits will be the total of line 11G and line 10. And here line 10 is 2583 and line 11G is 0. So we will put 2583 00 on line 12. Total deposit for this quarter, including overpayment applied from prior quarter, you'll put it on line 13A. So when you make deposit during the year, it's good to track deposit you have been making. And in this example, we are going to put that 2583 we deposited already, and it will be based on your deposit schedule. If you are a monthly depositor, you have to make your deposit, I believe, by the 15th of the month. When you pay a salary in July, for instance, while you withheld federal income tax, you withheld social security tax, you withheld Medicaid tax, you withheld, and the employer portion of social security tax and the employer portion of Medicaid tax, the total of those taxes, you should deposit it by the 15th of August. But again, we have a video on how to choose your deposit schedule at the beginning of the year, and it should cover that. And if you are a semi-weekly depositor, I believe you make, I'm not going to confuse you, but you make the deposit twice a week. And we do have a video on that as well. And I will try to put in the description of this video. But so that's that. And in this, we'll assume we are a monthly scheduled depositor and we deposited that 2583 because it's already past the threshold to pay with the tax form. Therefore, it is in our best interest to make that deposit. So, assuming we make the deposit of the amount we withheld, let's put 2583 on line 13A. So, line 13C is refundable portion of the credits. So, again, the instruction will guide you if you have credit, non-refundable and refundable portion of it. So the non-refundable portion of the credit will go on line 11, and the refundable portion of the credit will go on line 13. So we are going to leave line 13 from B to I alone and blank, except line 13G, total deposit and refundable credit is going to be the total of line 13A, C, and E. And here is going to be 2583, our total tax deposit that we have on line 13A. So when you total those lines, it will be 2583. So line 14, balance due. If line 12 is more than line 13G, enter the difference here, and that's the amount you owe. And in our case, it is 0. So we are not going to enter anything there. So overpayment, if line 13G is more than line 12, where the tax is, you pay more than what you are supposed to pay. Therefore, you have overpayment. It'll go on line 15, and you check whether you want to apply it or the next return. The next 4 a 941 return, or you want to be sent a refund. And then you go to part 2. Tell us about your deposit schedule and tax liability for this quarter. So if you are, okay, so they say to read publication 15, section 11. And yes, between the monthly scheduled depositor and the semi-weekly depositor, you'll read more about it on publication 15, section 11. And again, that's what we address in the video related to how to choose your monthly deposit schedule video and article. So line 16, you will check one of the two. So if line 12 on this return is less than 2,500, or line 12 on the return for the prior quarter was less than 2,500, and you didn't incur $100,000 next day tax deposit obligation during the current quarter, you will check box 16. And in our case, our line 12 is 2,583. So we are 83 higher than the threshold of 2,500. So in fact, because we are 2,500 already passed, we cannot meet this. They say less than. So it has to be 2,499 for you to check box 16. Once you are 2,500, you do not qualify for box 16. You qualify for a monthly deposit schedule. So you will check box 16 in this example because our dollar amount is, our line 12 is 2,500 and more than it by 83. So you are a monthly deposit schedule for the entire quarter. So you'll now you have a requirement to tell IRS how much tax liability you incur every month of the quarter. So again, having a spreadsheet that allows you to track how much you are paying your staff members, whether you have employees or as an S Corp or LLC tax as an S Corp, you are collecting salary as the officer of your own business and therefore an employee of the business. It's good to track those earnings, those wages by month and by quarter. And here we have the quarter, so the summary by quarter that help us so far. But for the tax liability, summary report by month, in fact, if I have changed it to summary by month, will be even better. Summary report by month will be more adequate. So now for month July, we will go to the bottom. I think it's a little bit too up. For July, the total tax is ACC1. So we'll put ACC1, and the month 2 is August, is ACC1, and month 3 is September, is ACC1. So we are going to put ACC1, ACC1, and the total should match our line 12. So let's total them. ACC1 times 3 is 2,583. 2,583. Total liability for quarter must equal line 12. And you have to remember, line 12 is total tax after adjustment and non-refundable credits. So that means if you have some adjustment and non-refundable credit that you claim, you have to take that into consideration to see, because it will be taken into consideration by line, by the time you got to line 12. Therefore, your total before adjustment may not match your line 12. It will be your total tax liability after adjustment by month. So if you have those sick leave and family leave credit that you claim, just know what months those leaves were taken or earned wages related to those leaves, so that you calculate your tax liability in a way that the total of all 3 months matches what you have on line 12, 2583 in this example. If you are a semi-weekly scheduled depositor at any part of this quarter, you'll complete Schedule B, and in that case, you'll have to check the third line of line 16. So line 16 has 3 boxes. Semi-weekly depositor will check the third one, and they will complete Schedule B. So let's see if we have Schedule B. And I can just open it for you to see it. And based on the type of schedule you will file, it will be good to know how to track your data so that you'll be able to file that schedule easily when you get to it. Instructions for Schedule B. Let's just pull the form Schedule B, and it's from the link to the form, to the IRS form is saved on our website. That's where we access it from. But again, Schedule B, Form 941. You will select the quarter you are filing for. If you are a semi-weekly depositor, you will enter your business identification number, your business name, not the trade name, but your legal business name, the calendar year you are filing for, and you check the quarter you are filing for. And in this sense, if you are a semi-weekly depositor, that will be quarter 3, and you will enter. You read the instructions, and there is instructions for the form as well. But pretty much every day of the month for the 3 months that you have in the quarter, you will enter your tax liability for those months. And you have at the right the total liability for each month. And you will, and pretty much you will complete that form, and you will attach it to your form 941. And they say the total for all 3 months of the quarter should match your line 12. And that's a form you will file and attach to your form 941. But because we are not semi-weekly depositor based on how much tax liability we have, we check box 2. But again, semi-weekly depositor, you select whether you are a monthly scheduled depositor or a semi-weekly depositor at the beginning of the year, and you just stick to it unless you earn a tax, you owe a tax liability of $100,000 in a day of the year. And from that point, from a monthly, if you are a monthly deposit scheduler, you'll switch to semi-weekly scheduled depositor for the rest of the year based on that liability you incur a day. That the next day you pay, but then you switch to semi-weekly scheduled depositor for the rest of the year. Other than that, if you select monthly scheduled depositor, you stick to it for the rest of the year. And if your tax liability is less than $2,500 for the year, you'll be able to pay with, for the quarter, you'll be able to pay with the return. But if it's more than it, because, then you will select the monthly scheduled depositor, and you need to show your monthly deposit is liability here. And pretty much what it's telling IRS is they can compare it to how much deposits you made during the quarter, during the month, or during the quarter, to see if you deposit your liabilities by the due date every month. Otherwise, they could charge you a penalty for not doing so. Okay, so now page 3, again, you'll enter your business name at the top of page 3, and you'll enter your business identification number. And line 17, if your business has closed or you stop paying wages, you'll check it. Otherwise, you leave it blank. And then you'll enter the date it closed, and you will attach a statement to your return, and they have the instruction regarding that as well. So line 18, if you are a seasonal employer and you don't have to file a return for every quarter of the year, you will check that box. So that means, and again, they explain it in the instruction. So if you are a seasonal employer and there is some quarters you do not have employee and you don't intend to file Form 941 for that quarter, for the quarter you file for is a requirement. You select box 18 on that quarter, so the IRS know not to expect, they may not expect to have Form 941 from you for the following quarter in case you don't have employees. So just read the instructions to see if you meet the seasonal employer. Otherwise, you file your Form 941, whether you have employees or not. If that's a requirement for your business to file Form 941, I would suggest you just file it every quarter and put your business name, business identification number, and leave everything blank. That is $0 in your case, except line 1, 2, and 12, where you put 0 and 00 for the decimal. And you mail it to them by the due date, and you check the quarter you are filing for at the top. So line 19, line 20, line 21, line 22, we will leave them all blank. But again, if it's related to you, read the instructions. They do have some worksheets that you could use for the credit. And we'll go to part 4 for Form 941. Maybe they pretty much want to know if there is an issue they don't understand, if they can talk to somebody about just this particular 941. If you select yes, you'll put the person's name and the person's phone number, and you'll choose a PIN that they will use to address the issue with that person. But if you want them to just talk to you, the business owner, just check no. So we are going to check no. Part 5, you will put your name, and here I'm just going to put my name. You put your title, and you put your phone number, your business number. And when you print the form out, you will review everything you printed out, you sign it, you date it, and you make a copy to keep in your file for your business record. So if somebody filed for your business, or if you are a tax preparer and you are filing for somebody else and you are getting paid to file for that business, then you'll put your name, you'll put your business, your tax business name, or if you are self-employed, then you'll put your name, your business address, you put your P10, and if you are self-employed, you check that box or you leave it alone. You put your identification, your business identification number, your business phone, and pretty much the address goes all the way there. But then after you print the copy out, you can sign it and date it, and make a copy for a copy, in fact 2 copies for the business owner to mail to IRS, and 1 for them to keep in their record. And you keep 1 as a tax preparer, you keep 1 in your business record as well. Or if you prefer digital copy, then you have it. But that's that. So now we will go to the voucher. So how do you complete Form 941V? So in this instance, you'll notice that we do not have any balance due. We made deposits. But if your line 12 is less than 2,500, if you are a monthly deposit scheduler though, and you are making deposit, it might just be better you make deposit of the amount that is balance you on line 14. But you can read the instructions here. To avoid the penalty, make your payments with Form 941 only if your total tax after adjustment and non-refundable credit on line 12 for Form 941 for either the current quarter or the preceding quarter are less than 2,500. So that means if the prior quarter your line 12 was 2,500 or more, you should make a deposit. But if the prior quarter that you filed, it was less than 2,500, and you pay with Form 941, and this quarter 3, it is line 12 is less than 2,500 as well, you can make the payment with Form 941. So you didn't incur $100,000 liability. So, and you are paying in full within by the due date, you can make payment. Otherwise, they pretty much advise you to make a deposit instead. There's the difference between making a deposit and making a payment. So, and that's that. So if the prior quarter your line 12 was 2,500 or more, this quarter is less than 2,500, you need to make a deposit. The only time you'll pay is if this quarter is less than 2,500 and the prior quarter is less than 2,500 as well. So you make a payment with Form 941 only if you are a monthly scheduled depositor making a payment in accordance with the accuracy of the deposit rule. In this case, the amount of your payment may be 2,500 or more, and that's this one that I found kind of tricky, because if you have been making payment and correctly, and then your line 12 is more than 2,500, they say you can pay with Form 941. Just to avoid falling in that area, outside of the gray area where you can get penalty, is just better if your line 12 is more than 12,500, make a deposit. If you have been making a deposit already, there is no point to send a payment with your form. Just make another deposit of the balance due on line 14. But yeah, so, and that way you don't have to try to remember. Just for simplicity purposes, because as a business owner managing a lot of department in your business, let's just say to yourself that if your line 12 is going to be more than 2,500, you'll make a deposit of any tax you are due. And if your line 12 is less than 2,500, then you can pay with the form if the prior quarter is less than 2,500 as well. Or if you are a monthly deposit schedule and you have already been making deposits, you must well make deposit of anything that is due. So if you are going to make a payment with your Form 941, make sure you write a check or a money order, but I will suggest you do a check. And the reason is the money order doesn't have enough space for you to put things on it clearly. And when you use a check, when IRS cash it, you will know. And that's another proof that your return was received. On your check, make sure you put your business identification number on it. Make sure you write Form 941 quarter 3 and the year. So 2023 Form 941 quarter 3, for instance. So, and yeah, they give you an example here. Second quarter 2023, third quarter 2023, whatever quarter you are paying for, and Form 941. You want those things to be on your check and EIN number. You'll put all of that and you make the payment to the U.S. Treasury. Let me see where they put it. U.S. Treasury. Payable to U.S. Treasury, State Treasury. And then you go to the check, the voucher. You put your business identification number. We are not going to complete that. It does not get confusing to you because our form does not have any balance due on line 14. But then line 1, if yours you have a balance due, line 1 you put your business identification number, you put your business name, address, you select the quarter it is for, and that'll be quarter 3, and you put the dollar amount, and the dollar amount you will put here will be the amount from 14. Balance due. That is the amount. If you have a dollar amount on line 14, that is the amount you will put on the voucher with the cents. And when you print your document out, you will print the voucher out. But in this instance that we do not have anything to put on the voucher, we do not owe money, you don't need to print the voucher out. You'll just print up to the paper powder only page 3 section. But if you complete voucher, you need to print the whole things out. And in that case, when you are putting your document in the envelope, you attach the Form 941 together, staple it. You'll have the check by itself. You'll have the voucher by itself. So that will be 3 different documents in it if you complete the voucher. The voucher by itself, the check by itself, and the Form 941, whatever pages it is, up to this. If you have Schedule B for weekly deposit schedule, you attach it to it. But up to that page, you staple those 3 pages and Schedule B if you complete a Schedule B. And you'll have those 3 things you'll put in the envelope. And what I like to do is have a smaller envelope that I'll put the check and the voucher in. And then I'll write on a payment and I'll put in the bigger envelope where the Form 941 is. Just know you do not staple the voucher to the check. You do not staple the voucher to the Form 941. And you do not staple the check to the Form 941. Keep those 3 things separate in the envelope. And you can just use a big envelope, 9 by 12 envelope, and put those things in it. And you will mail it. So now that we are done completing the Form 941, where do you mail your Form 941 without payments? Because our line 12 is blank. So where do you mail this Form 941 if you are not going to include payment? You'll go to the instructions, probably page 8, mailing Form 941 without payment. Look for without payment, colon, and then locate your state where your business is located. And here we are in Iowa. So you locate the state your business is located and without payment, colon, and you select the address from without a payment colon that correspond to the section where your state is located, and that is the address you'll put on the envelope, and that's where you'll mail your Form 941. Where do you mail Form 941 with payments? If you complete Form 941 voucher, and so that means you are adding a check to it, you are mailing your Form 941 with payment, you want to locate with payment colon, with a payment colon, that's the third colon. So that the address from the third colon with payment colon, that correspond to the states, the section where the states where your business is located is. And in this example for Iowa, the third colon, the address in the third colon with payment colon, that correspond to the states where our business states is that address that we will add to the envelope if we are sending a voucher and a check payment along with Form 941. So that's how you will choose the right address to mail your Form 941 if you are sending a payment or you are mailing the Form 941 without a payment. And this concludes how to fill out Form 941, Employer Quarterly Federal Tax Return for 2023, Quarter 3. If you do not have a tax software and you wanted to use our payroll spreadsheets, it is said if you are a monthly deposit scheduler or you make payment with your tax return, Form 941, it will work for you. If you are a semi-weekly depositor, it may not be the right spreadsheet for you because it's not set to track your payroll by day. We do have the federal income tax by pay, but the summary tabs are by month, and the last tab is by quarter. You'll be able to enter payment by day if you choose to, but the summary of those information will not be by day for you. So you'll have to play with it to see if that works for you or what more tab you'll need to add, or you can use it as an inspiration to design your own if you are a semi-weekly depositor. If you are a monthly depositor and you want to use that form, you'll go to on our website ninasoap.com and you'll be able to find it under free download. And under free download from the main page, under free download in the bar session, you should be able to find it, and that will be the first one. That particular spreadsheet is the first one, but we do have few others that you can check to see which one work for you. But I'm going to click on B22 F2 940 free download free payroll spreadsheet 1, and that's the one that I've been using now in this example, and it got updated recently. And we have an example to see how you can see how it's completed, but we have the blank form. And I do have how to use it as well, you know, the video that shows you how to use it. And that was the old version 1 that I modified this year, but the video is showing you how to use it, and the article about how to use it is I attach it as well where the download is, so that you have all the resources on that same page where you will download the document, and I can just click on it for you to see how it will do it for you. Oh, I don't know if you notice it, but let me do it again. And pay attention to this corner. I don't know how yours will do it. Sometimes it'll be at the bottom corner, but when I click on it, you see it is there. So that means you'll go to that arrow and you'll click on the form. And that's how you can access this spreadsheet. Hold on, let me close this one. And let's open it again. Because I think they both have the same title, so it will open it the first time. But depending on the security feature you have on your spreadsheet, it might do that. So when it is like that, you can just enable editing. So you'll click on enable editing so that it can allow you to edit it any way you want. But yeah, you just complete the list tab, the staff tab, and the federal income tax tab, and the instructions tab can guide you in that. And once you complete the list tab and federal income tax, as you pay people, the other tab will just compute information for you, pulling things from the federal income tax tab. So that's very crucial. You complete the federal income tab properly, and the other summary tab will be able to compute from there as well. And this spreadsheet hopefully should be able to help you total your payroll data in a way to file unemployment tax with IRS, file Form 944 annual employment tax return, Form 941 employer quality federal tax return, which we just practiced now, and Form 940 employer federal unemployment tax return, and W-2s for the employees. So you should be able to, and the folder is the unemployment tax return, and then with the total wages and employee Medicaid and Social Security and total federal income tax by employee, you will be able to file their W-2 and W-3 with Social Security Administration. Is the goal behind this design, and pretty much we are using it in this example, to see if we are getting our totals right up. But then you have your total by quarters, your totals by month as well. And again, it is free to download from ninasoup.com under free download, and that is free payroll spreadsheet form 940 B22F2. Thank you so much. I'm Afiavi Liberman, the founder of Liberman Consulting L.L.C YouTube channel and ninasoup.com, our blog, where you can find free download that you can use to manage your finances or to manage your business. And again, if you are using those spreadsheets, will you please make sure no formula is broken, and you can customize it as well to fit your business. I thank you all for your time. We thank you very much, you all that subscribe to our channel. We thank you very much for all your comments. On our channel, on our blog, we share different ways you can save money and different ways you can make money to reach your financial independence, where you do not depend on your employer to provide for your need or to put food on your table. Thank you. And if you are wondering when your Form 941 is due, I briefly mentioned it at the beginning. Quarter 3, that includes July, August, September, is due by October, by the end of October. And you can find that on instructions for Form 941. Wait a minute here. I pulled instruction for Form 941 and I have 2022. We want to make sure we have the right year. So let me go 2022. So what I'm going to suggest is you make sure you pull for 2023. So when you pull it from IRS website, you should have the right one, and from our blog it should update as well. Let's see where the instructions is here. If we click on the instructions, it should show 2023 if IRS has 2023 available. So now that we are here, let's go back to the page where you will see where you should mail your return. Is on page 7. And again, the principle is the same. If you are mailing Form 941 without a payment, stay with the address in the column without a payment and locate the state your business is located in, and that's the address you will use. And if you are mailing Form 941 with a payment, stay in the third column and look for the state, the section where your business state is located, and that's Iowa. In this example, therefore, you will use with payment colon address that corresponds to your states. That's how you'll find it, and it's on page 7 of Form 941, instructions for Form 941 2023. So when Form 941 quarter 3 is due, you'll find it on page 6. July, August, September, the quarter end on September 30th. The form is due by October 31st. You want to make sure you file it and mail it by USPS using a tracking with a tracking number. Pay to have a tracking number on it so that you can file it with the return that you have in your record, with the receipt as well. That way you have the proof that you mail it by the due date. Thank you so much for watching.